Researchers in China utilized the largest radio telescope in the world to pick up on what they believe to be probable evidence of life beyond Earth. These signals are odd electromagnetic waves. They claim that it was unlike anything else they had encountered before. Welcome to Techmo. In today's video, we're going to talk about the recent news that China may have picked up signals that look like they came from an alien civilization. According to a statement made by a Chinese researcher, their Sky Eye telescope may have been able to detect transmissions from extraterrestrial civilizations. An American scientist expresses skepticism on the veracity of this statement. According to Dan Wertheimer, a researcher at the University of Berkeley in California, who works on the search for extraterrestrial intelligence and is a co-author of the research project that was the first to find the signals, the narrowband radio signals that he and his colleagues discovered are from human radio interference, not from extraterrestrials. In most cases, natural phenomena does not provide the origin of narrowband radio transmissions. The 500-meter aperture spherical radio telescope, also known as Sky Eye, was used by researchers in 2019 and 2022 to pick up 3 of these signals, all of which appear to originate from outer space. These signals were detected using the world's largest radio telescope. As part of the preparation for a 5-year survey of the sky, it was performing a preliminary search for extrasolar planets. The official publication of China's Ministry of Science and Technology published the first report concerning the possible extraterrestrial origins of the signals on Tuesday. The story was written in Chinese. According to what was written, the group had discovered many occurrences of probable technical traces and extraterrestrial civilizations from outside of the Earth. It was also said by a FAST employee who was not directly involved in the investigation that it was probable that the signals originated from somewhere other than Earth. Before the international press and Life Science wrote about them, the claims soon became viral, spreading through Chinese official media and the social media website Weibo. However, Wertheimer claims that even if the signals were not produced by humans, it is almost probable that they did not originate from extraterrestrial beings. According to Wertheimer, who was interviewed by Life Science, the fundamental problem, and the problem in this case, is that we are looking for signals from aliens, but all that we discover are a million signals from individuals on Earth. Even though the signals are very weak, the cryogenic receivers on the telescopes are very sensitive and can pick up signals from cell phones, TV, radar, and satellites, all of which are becoming increasingly common every day. Even though the signals are very weak, the cryogenic receivers on the telescopes are very sensitive. When you're new to the game and don't know all the numerous ways that interference can get into your data and screw it up, it's tempting to let your excitement get the best of you. Although there was a lot of excitement, Wertheimer's Chinese business partners were careful not to say anything that would be too shocking. Instead, they concentrated on determining the likelihood that the signals originated from our planet. In the study, the lead scientist of the China Extraterrestrial Civilization Research Group at Beijing Normal University, Zhang Tongji, stated, "These are a few narrowband electromagnetic signals that are distinct from what we have seen before." Additional study is now being conducted by the team. There is a significant possibility is a result of radio interference of some type. This needs to be verified or disproved as soon as possible. This may take quite some time. Scientists on the hunt for extraterrestrial life have been deceived in the past by sounds that people make. A current example of this is the false alert that was just issued. In 2019, researchers discovered a signal delivered to Earth from the star system Proxima Centauri, which is the star system that is nearest to our solar. It is approximately 4.2 light-years distant, and which has at least one planet that has the potential to harbor life. Because it was a narrow-band radio wave, which is the type of wave that is typically produced by people, researchers were intrigued by the possibility that the signal originated from alien technology. Studies that were published 2 years later proved that the signal was most likely created by a human error, as reported by Life Science. These studies came out after 2 years had passed. Similarly, a well-known collection of signals that were discovered between the years 2011 and 2014 and were initially considered to have originated from extraterrestrial beings were, in reality, produced by scientists heating their lunches in the microwave. About the occurrences that occurred with the microwave lunches, Wertheimer stated, "A lot of brilliant astronomers looked at that, and it took us a long time to figure out what it was." He said, Finally, someone realized what was happening around lunchtime. He was referring to the events that were taking place. Due to the size and sensitivity of the fast system, radio interference presents a significant challenge for the system. The dish's power enables it to locate radio devices similar to those on Earth that are located many light years away, and the data it collects includes just under 40 billion observations every second. The dish's diameter is 500 meters. According to comments made by Wertheimer to the newspaper Futurism, receiving a false positive result in this circumstance is like repeatedly flipping a coin and coming up with heads 20 times in a row. This may appear to be an uncommon occurrence on its own, but when compared to the number of times the coin has been flipped, which is at least billions of times, it is quite common. And the less experience a research team has with a specific radio telescope, the less probable it is that they may identify a modest interference effect. According to Wertheimer, the receiver that is mounted on the FAST telescope has the ability to look at 19 distinct regions of the sky simultaneously. However, if it only shows up in one, as it did with all three of the supposedly alien signatures found in this case, even experienced researchers can be led astray. Scientists are accustomed to dismissing interference if it appears in all 19 of the samples, but if it appears in only one of the samples, they are unable to do so. According to Wertheimer, the situation is only going to become dire as the number of satellites traveling in orbit above us continues to increase. There is also the possibility that if extraterrestrial beings are communicating with us or accidentally leaking information over the vastness of the cosmos, the messages may not be encoded in radio waves, but rather in ways that we do not have yet the technology to decipher. Wertheimer said, "It wouldn't surprise me in the least if we were completely headed in the wrong direction." If you look at the history of SETI, some of the first ideas that were proposed were things like, let's build some big fires on Earth. Let's have some big mirrors that reflect sunlight to the Martians. Or let's build some mile-long right-angle triangles to show aliens we know about Pythagorean theorem. And now we look back and think that those people were idiots. When people look back at us in 200 years, they could ask why we didn't use tachyons or communicate through subspace. What guarantees do we have that this won't be the case? But you need to focus on the things that you excel in. Even though it is highly likely that these signals originate from Earth, SETI astronomers are still rather confident that we do not exist alone in the universe, and that one day, among all the crap that we say, we might stumble onto something true. If you look at the numbers, there are 1 trillion planets in the galaxy, which is 5 times more planets than there are stars. A significant portion of them is comparable in size to the planet Earth. Since many of them have liquid water, it is possible that intelligent life, while not as widespread as bacterial life, is nevertheless rather common. It's possible that they don't want to interfere with such backward societies as ours, where people still kill each other. Maybe they're just gawking at us, like we are in a gigantic zoo. Alternatively, they may care less about technological advancements and more about artistic expressions, such as music and poetry.